What's up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Game of the Week show. I'm your host, Matt Southwell, and joining me this week is Dan Gilbert and Ashley Dye.
Huh?
I got something on my face. You're both like...
No, I can just see Ash starting to smoke.
Just pleased to be here in your presence.
Well, I'm pleased I'm in my presence as well. It's always nice to just come in and just sit with you guys and chill for half an hour. I had to do my Christmas shopping yesterday, and... I fucking hate people at Christmas. I tolerate people at the best of times, but Christmas, everyone is crazy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Have you done it yet?
Some.
Did it last weekend, and I'm so glad I got it out of the way.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Still lots to do.
Anyway, we'll move on to the show. For anyone out there quickly that doesn't know what the Game of the Week show is, it is three friends that sit around this table every Monday to discuss the latest news topics in the video game industry. We'll then also go through this week's game releases and give our opinions on what we think is the Game of the Week. So moving on with the big news, or it was almost a week ago now, we weren't able to cover PlayStation Experience on our last video, but that was a big event last Saturday, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
Or Saturday and Sunday. It was a two-day thing in Vegas, and there's way too much stuff for us to cover. We could do a whole extra video on the Experience. But I've decided to pick the big one. The one that I'm sure you'll be excited about is the new Uncharted 4 trailer. So I'm just going to sit back and let you guys favourite them out.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. Like I just can't. I mean, you know how much I love Uncharted. It's my favourite game.
It could have been like a Stickman trailer, and you would have still thought it was amazing.
Yeah, possibly. I'm so excited for it.
Yeah.
I really am. I mean, the first three games...
It does look good.
I blitzed, and I can't even express the number of hours I've put into those first three games. And on the sort of next gen that we're in now, and the visual quality, the difference, with still the same level of gameplay, I think is... I'll try and not get too excited.
No, I thought that, one, to show us a 15-minute trailer... was awesome in itself.
Yeah.
To open up your show with that is very good, but also very risky. It's like, what's going to be your big thing at the end if you're starting with Uncharted?
Yeah.
And the big thing at the end actually was very cool, but we're not going to talk about that now. But the big thing was, it actually looked like it was more of a cinematic trailer at first.
Yeah.
And then there's like a moment where you can almost tell that maybe they botched it slightly. I don't know if you actually watched the actual live show.
No.
But there was a guy actually playing it on the side of the stage, and I'm pretty sure there was a point where like basically Drake gets seen before maybe he was supposed to be seen.
Oh, okay.
You could just kind of maybe tell, because it wasn't quite as smooth as you would maybe expect it to be. But I just thought I was like, that's in game, and it's still like over a year away. Or almost a year away from release.
It's
So this game's going to look pretty good.
It is going to look good, and the gameplay itself, and what Uncharted has done very well throughout all of their games is they've tried to keep it quite similar. The story has progressed so well, and they do follow on very nicely, and the gameplay itself, what you're doing, what you're using, the tools you're using are still very, very similar. It is very much sort of runarounds and jumping, climbing. There's a lot of that involved, and there's a lot of sort of testing puzzles, if you like, that you have to sort of figure out. And it's nice that they've kept that the whole way through, and it looks like that's going to continue for this as well.
I think the biggest change is, you don't break what's not, you don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah.
But the biggest thing seemed to be was like just the smooth transition between cinematics and gameplay, and I just think that's going to be, on the older Uncharted you would do a little, do some button command, and then it would go into like a little mini
cutscene.
Cut again, back into game.
Whereas this seems to be sort of cinematic, and then pan out with the camera, and then you're in full gameplay mode.
It's a smooth transition.
It is, yeah.
And I think did they say that it's going to look the same in gameplay and in cinematography?
Yeah.
Is that right?
I would think so. So. It looks that way anyway. Yeah, it does look.
Because they were saying like in the original teaser trailer that what you saw there was actually gameplay quality. It wasn't going to look any different.
Yeah, and that close up of Drake's face is just it's unbelievable.
Although,
he's a beautiful man, isn't he?
The twist at the end though, the introduction of his
brother.
Yeah.
Who is done by the voice of
Troy Baker. So Nolan North and Troy Baker.
Troy Baker and Nolan North.
He gets around.
Those guys
collaborating.
They're not they don't normally collaborate. But
they're usually in the same games, but they're not like necessarily sort of like the big stars together.
There is not a game, it seems to be, where not one of them is voicing it.
Yes, I know.
But they are both very good, and I'm excited. We could talk Uncharted.
I know we could. So we'll be talking about it again. I'm sure in another few weeks. When
our viewers will have seen some of the trailer overlaid. I'll also put a link in the description because you should go and watch it all because it is special.
It is good.
Quick question: have they ever mentioned his brother before?
No, that I'm aware of. No,
I don't think so.
No.
Oh, I'm looking forward to see how they explain that one.
But you don't really find out that much about his personal life really when you play the game.
Well, no, I'm just thinking back to like the previous game when they did the whole Drake's by himself gets found by Sully and all of that stuff. It's like, well
maybe he's long lost brother.
Where's his brother been?
See,
if you know what I mean.
I'm still of the my money is still on this story going down the route of he's we already know it's been some years since Uncharted 3 and in Drake's life, so I'm thinking maybe he has got a family now. And maybe they have been abducted or something.
Well, the thing is, like you're saying, like I think the original description was like basically something to do with his family. I'm thinking off the top of my head, forcing Drake back into things.
Yeah.
But now they've introduced his brother into this.
Yeah.
I think everyone's previous thinking is off.
Yeah.
And his
family is
his family's actually his brother in this, and not necessarily
like wife and kids and all that.
Yeah.
Elena and Sully.
Possibly.
Any kids.
Sully will be there.
No, but I mean, as in like the actual person.
The problem, why he's being,
the reason he comes out is like wherever he is to help his brother, not anyone else.
I don't know.
But excited.
Very excited. Right, we'll move on then to the next topic, and it was good news for Xbox One fans. It was finally in the US anyway, for the first time in 2014, the best-selling console for the month of November. It was also the best-selling console here in the UK. Well, probably not here, Guernsey, but UK as a whole.
That's because everyone's bought PS4 and they're now buying their Xbox Ones.
See, that was actually a thing I was
going to say.
That's exactly what I was going to say. It's like, obviously the price cuts helped.
Yeah,
it has.
I think it's got a better exclusive lineup this fall.
Yeah.
Someone that hasn't got either console, you're looking, okay, well, there's all these cross-platform games. They're all good. What's PlayStation got that Xbox doesn't? Not a lot. Drive Club at the moment. What's Xbox got? Halo, Sunset, Forza.
Yeah.
3-1.
Oh, and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
That
you're right. That is tipping the balance. It's definitely those games I think that are swaying people. I mean, Halo is just such a massive franchise on its own. To have the Master Chief Collection and have all of the games in one collection, I think it just sells for itself. Sunset looks like a fantastic game, and I can't wait to go on that as well.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
Yeah,
I can vouch. I've only played 2.5 hours so far, but
you liking it?
Goddamn GTA and Far Cry getting in the way of my.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, it is good.
And you need 4 arms.
I need to quit my job, is what I do.
2 TVs, yeah.
I have 2 TVs. I just need to quit my job. It gets in the way. Just give up on life. Just lock myself in a room and play video games.
Absolutely.
That wouldn't be sad at all.
No.
What was it? Oh yeah. So no, I actually agree with you. There's a lot of people probably that have already got PS4s that are now buying Xbox One. It's not just new people coming to the market.
No.
One thing, Dan, I don't know if you saw this stat or not, but new generation sales are now 80% higher than old generation, which it's interesting, but it's not that surprising, really, is it?
At the same period after release, you mean?
Basically, in this month, 13 months after release, if say, the Xbox sold, the Xbox One and PS4 combined have sold 80% more than the PS3, Xbox 360.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Now that's not, to me, that's not necessarily a huge amount.
No.
That's, to me, it surprises me that anyone's still buying the previous generation.
Yeah.
Because I thought most people would have those consoles by now. If you are interested in games in the slightest.
Well, certainly, why would you buy new?
Well, they're cheap. For the very, very casual, it's $100 versus like $400.
For your kids, you might get the cheaper one.
Yeah.
Something like that. Like, I mean, if you're going to go out and spend something, you're not going to want them to break the really, really expensive shiny new game.
I suppose the other thing as well is games.
And the other thing
there's
is,
a lot of games that games are cheaper.
Depending on when someone might have bought their first PS3, maybe it's broken. They want to replace it so they can still play their catalogue of games, because you don't have backwards compatibility in like.
Well, you do have backwards compatibility. It's called definitive editions. You just have to buy it again
for another £50. Yeah. But no, and I suppose the other thing as well is, the cost of games. You can probably pick up PS3 games and Xbox 360 games for
almost half the price.
Well, you can probably pick them up for £5. I was going to say.
In some cases, yeah, you probably can. And I suppose it's hard for us to comprehend because we're not these super casual gamers. Like for us, it's like, why would you not want a new one? Yeah. It doesn't make sense.
Why would you not want a game for 22 and a half hours a day?
Yeah, so like
need a bit of sleep.
5-minute power nap is fine.
An hour and a half is way too much for sleeping. Wasted. The top 10 game releases was also announced for November, which I found really quite interesting. Well, Call of Duty was number 1. That's not that interesting.
Shock horror.
That's not that shocking. But
I did beat
GTA.
Yeah, I was surprised it beat GTA.
Well, you got to remember, like
GTA. I suppose it was a re-release.
It's the re-release.
Yeah.
It's not the same as like.
Not everyone's going to buy it.
It's not a new release.
Is,
that's a fair point.
GTA was still number 2.
Yeah.
Super Smash number 3. I think that being number 3, in the month where there's been so many other games released, that shows you how well Smash is doing.
Yeah. More to the point, that many people own a Wii U.
Well, that's the other thing as well, isn't it? I mean, you think about the console.
That's not so much a dig, as in like I didn't think the Wii U was actually doing.
Well, this is only game sales in 1 month, and I would imagine anyone that has a Wii U, or like I would imagine the kind of attachment rate of Super Smash to Wii's is probably, I would imagine, at least 50%.
Yeah.
So whereas like Call of Duty, maybe only 10% of people buy it.
I suppose actually that sales does actually include people who own a 3DS.
Yes, it is 3DS one.
So a lot of people actually will own.
Yeah,
are more likely to
loads of people
own a 3DS than
kids
Wii,
as well.
So.
But we could go down. I won't go down the whole list. But the thing that surprised me is seeing a Halo game only just make the top 10. When in at number 10. Okay, it's only on one console, so it does limit the number of people that can buy it. But when would you ever hear? That just shows you how good that month was. How often would you see a Halo game be anywhere other than number 1?
Yeah.
And like games like Dragon Age didn't even make the top 10. And Sunset was released in October, but it was like Halloween, wasn't it? It was right at the end.
Yeah.
So, but there we go. That's enough on the sales front. Good stuff for Xbox One. We want a close console race because it's better for us at the end of the day.
Better for the consumer, isn't it?
So moving on, and anyone heard here of The Last Guardian?
I hadn't until you mentioned it to me because. Well, I mean, you can explain, but how long this has been in the pipeline for?
So yeah, this game is the follow-up to Eco and Shadow of the Colossus, which are 2 of PlayStation 2's best games. I don't know if you ever played Shadow of the Colossus, but you need if you play Shadow of the Colossus now, you would still love it. The idea is basically that you ride in on a horse and just have to defeat these like giant monsters, like these Colossus monsters, but they're like giant rock monsters, and like. Back then on the PS2, like you'd never seen anything like of this scope and size. And the idea was like it was kind of like a puzzle game as well. There was like all of them had like an area of weakness that you had to work out how to get to. But that was a very good game. And this is the follow-up, which was announced in 2009, should have come out in 2011,
and we're still waiting for it.
So they're a little bit behind schedule.
Yeah. So that was. But this week, the creator. Fumito Ueda.
It's not a bad effort.
I think that's probably correct. I don't do Japanese.
Okay.
He confirmed that talks with Sony Computer Entertainment have been ironed out, whatever that means, and they're making progress under new conditions. The new conditions are almost certainly that it's now going to be a PS4 game, because obviously in 2011 it was going to be a PS3 game. But why would you make a PS3 game now?
Yeah.
But the good thing is, what I'm excited about is that it's at least still alive, because everyone just assumed that it was dead. You know, like it's like it's quite an ongoing joke in the gaming community that this game is like every year it's like making bold predictions. What's it going to be? Oh, Last Guardian's going to be out.
Is that the same as like Half-Life 3?
It's basically it's there with Half-Life 3 as like the ongoing joke of. But it's even worse because Valve have said absolutely nothing about Half-Life 3, whereas this game was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
And normally when a game's supposed to come out and it doesn't, you would assume that it's
been cancelled, pulled the
died.
plug. Yeah.
But it is still alive. Just it's I think it's very much still on life support, but at least it's there.
We'll update you in another 12 months.
12 months?
Optimistic.
3 years. So yeah, 20. Basically, unconfirmed reports that it'll be out in 2019.
Okay. Unconfirmed by Mr. Southwell.
by yours truly, yeah. One thing that we do know is coming out is the PlayStation 4s and Vita.
Yeah.
Now, obviously they are already out, but the big deal is they're going to be coming out in Japan.
Japan?
I was going to say Japan, but I tried to change my mind. China. They're already in
China.
China. They are coming out in China, which obviously, remember we spoke about the Xbox One going there in September.
Yeah.
And China is obviously a big deal. Just
massive market.
Because of the size of it.
Yes.
So I haven't seen the sales figures of the Xbox One. Yeah, I couldn't find anything. I don't know if anyone else was able to find anything.
But not in anything that I found yet. No.
But
I mean, this is a big deal. It really is a big deal for Sony. This is huge. You know, as it was for Microsoft a few months ago. Massive deal.
Yeah, and so January 11th, and PS4 is going to be 2,899 Chinese yuan, which is how much, Ash?
No idea. I don't really deal with.
You're a banker though.
Yeah, but I don't deal with one.
Okay.
Very rarely do I deal with one.
It's about £350.
Okay.
So they're not. I'm correct.
It's in line with.
Yeah, it's in line with the prices, and that's the 500 gig version, and the Vita is
it's about half that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 140, 150 quid.
Yeah.
1,299 won, and that comes with 1 gig internal, which I think is it's definitely more than what my Vita came with.
1 gig.
1 gig. it's from Spain. Yeah, did yours come with 1 gig internal?
No, I don't think so. Because I really need to get a memory card for my Vita. Yeah. I meant to put it on my Christmas list and I forgot.
Well, it's not Christmas yet. Add it on.
Yeah, I could do.
So there we go. Anyway, we spoke about what in a previous. We won't go into a full conversation about what we think consoles in the Chinese market is because we've already had that conversation.
Yeah.
But it's a big deal and it's good for Sony and hopefully for Xbox they've at least got themselves some sort of head start because Sony is coming through basically.
But just gaming in general,
it's good.
I think it's a slightly bigger deal for Sony because there's actually not necessarily great relations between Japan and China. There hasn't been for centuries, to be honest. So like they've always not been on the best of terms. So the fact that they're able to negotiate something in for any Japanese company, to be honest, is a good thing.
Yeah. I think one thing that I very quickly want to touch on that I almost completely missed. The Vita. Will that be the only handheld is the 3DS in China? I assume not. So Vita will be the first handheld console.
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
Long live the Vita.
Long live the Vita. Yeah, I don't know.
So I would imagine it's not, because Nintendo is also a Japanese company. So, and they've had no consoles. So yeah, that's the first handheld, other than probably Chinese ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good. I'm happy now.
Yeah.
Alright, we'll move on to the last item on our news this week. So Metal Gear Solid, the Phantom Pain. So we already knew it was coming out in 2015, and its potential actual release date has now been teased by the creator Hideo Kojima. I do know that one.
Okay.
He wore a T-shirt at the Game Awards. I don't know these words. It was in Swedish, saying.
Are you going to try and say this, please?
Trugoandra den Shiata. Do you reckon that's the way?
It's close.
I don't know Swedish.
It's close.
But anyway, the point is the words mean 22nd and 6th.
Okay.
which is so people on the internet. This guy, just to give like some background, is he's known for being like a bit of a teaser and a joker. He teased the actual announcement of this game by creating a fake Swedish game developer studio.
Oh.
So that's where like the Swedish connection has kind of come in. The 22nd of June is a Tuesday, I believe. I read online it was, so I'm trusting.
Okay.
I'm trusting those online people to be telling me the truth. So that could be it. It's obviously unconfirmed, but more importantly, what are your guys' thoughts on Metal Gear? Obviously, it's quite a big series.
It is a big series.
Okay, it's not PlayStation exclusive anymore, but there was obviously a time when it was exclusive.
God, yeah. I mean, looking back to when the roots of Metal Gear Solid and how I think in Metal Gear Solid 4 they did a level where they actually went back to sort of first gen sort of graphics, and there's a level you have to play where it's just literally top down view of a little
A little
yes, a little pixelated man walking around the screen.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's an old game. It's been going a long time.
Metal Gear was on the NES.
Yeah,
initially.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking a good few years ago, and actually, Metal Gear Solid 4 was 2008.
Sure.
Something like that, I believe. Yeah.
Say it with confidence, and
2008.
people will believe you.
It was about 2008.
Apart from people on the internet, because people on the internet do know everything.
Okay. Well, it's 2007, 2008. Anyway, I digress. It was it's a good game. Metal Gear Solid 4. Haven't quite finished the campaign, but very, very nearly finished the campaign on Metal Gear Solid 4.
It's only been 7 years, eh?
Yeah.
So I loved the first and second one. They were like two of my favourite games for like PlayStation 1 and 2, and I played the third one, which was also PS2, I believe. But no, it was PS2. But I didn't really enjoy it that much. I just didn't think it was that it was that good. So I never actually played the fourth one, just because not because I didn't want to, but just it was one of those games where it came out at a particular time, and I bought it and it sat on my shelf for years, and I just never got around to playing it. But maybe I will.
The only thing I didn't like about it is they had no trophies.
Was it really? Well, it was obviously released before trophies. Then.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But there was no patch.
Oh,
where was the patch?
You don't play games just for trophies.
Yeah, you do.
He does.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
Okay, what did you do for like the first 20 years of your life then?
I kept saying.
He had his mum standing on the side with a little plastic trophy to give him every time he accomplished something.
I had a little notepad to keep track of my achievements.
How did you know trophies and achievements before they didn't even exist in our lives?
I invented it.
You invented it.
I did.
So does that mean you're rich then? You're getting all the royalties. Every time someone earns a trophy, you get 1p.
Yeah.
That would actually make you super rich.
Yes.
But there we go. Anyway, so hopefully we will see Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah, the first look trailer looks good.
Are you excited for it, Dan? Or
it's a franchise that's just passed me by. It's like I own the first one on like PS1, but I never got into it. So like the rest of passed. It's like
maybe
I may look at it now because like in previous I was saying the Matt before. It's like that's all based off my opinion as a kid.
Yeah, maybe you were just a stupid kid.
Probably. That's why I kind of like I haven't looked at the rest of the franchise because that's sort of like based off that opinion back then. It's like
here's the fourth one.
Yeah,
I don't want to play the fourth one because I didn't like the first one.
Yeah, so
that's what we've talked about with games and numbers and stuff. Why a lot of games, like for example, Infamous, was just came up with Second Son rather than Infamous 3, because that mindset of people is like, well, I haven't played 1 and 2, so I can't play 3.
A lot of people,
and a lot of games have been doing that.
A lot of people have this mindset.
Yeah. It's a lot harder when it's like a continual storyline throughout the series as well. Because if it's all standalone games, it's very easy for someone to jump into a franchise at any point. If it's continuing a run of stuff where it's like throwing back to previous games and you're not getting half the references and stuff, it takes you out of that.
Well, Metal Gear is, for my opinion, it's both that. There's a lot more to people that have played all of the Metal Gear Solids.
Yeah.
But you can still pick up the individual games are still individual games on their own.
Yeah.
So, but there you go. It might be out in June. So
maybe
if
our Swedish is correct.
Well,
Well, it's not just Swedish. Yeah, it's not my Swedish.
Well,
But yeah, okay, so that's it on the news front. We will be right back with all of the game releases. Make sure you stick with us because it is a fantastic week for games. Okay, guys, welcome back. Now it's that time of the show where we will talk about this week's game releases. So, as I said, a big week. And by big week, I mean more so for your wallet because there is nothing that you really need to buy this week.
yeah,
There's a few games though that we will go through, and some of them might appeal to you, but some might not. We'll start off with the big release of the week.
That's as big as it gets, really, isn't it? Yeah.
Lara Croft and the Temple of, how would you say that?
Osiris.
This is why I shouldn't host stuff because I can't speak. So yeah, so this is. Did anyone play Guardian of Light, which was the first one? No. So it's not obviously normal Tomb Raider.
No, it's more of a top-down, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a top-down kind of like puzzle game, and it looks fun.
Yeah, it looks fine.
The Guardian of Light, I didn't actually own it personally, but I've seen a friend play it, and it looks quite cool. It just depends whether or not. Depends how much of a Lara Croft fan you are. I suppose.
Not massively. I enjoyed the Tomb Raider game.
Like the reboot.
Which one?
the one that came out recently.
Yeah, so the reboot one.
The reboot, yeah. That was good. And obviously this is coming out on both Xbox One and PS4 because the main Tomb Raider game is obviously going to be an Xbox exclusive next year.
Yes.
Because
timed.
Because the internet got very angry at that.
Yeah.
But there we go. That game looks a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you like those type of games. Obviously there'll be an overlay over there that you can check it out. We'll move on. There's a couple of DLC items for some larger games. We don't normally talk DLC.
But it's that kind of week.
But
Well, one is that kind of week. And first up it's The Dark Below, which is Destiny's first DLC.
Yeah.
Destiny was a big deal, but we were talking about it off camera. It was more disappointment than
it was hyped
enjoyment.
for a long time. I mean, you're talking pre-release of the current gen that we're in now. Big game, lots of anti.
Yeah,
but it didn't. It's still an okay game,
yeah.
but it did. I think everyone expected it.
Was shocking.
I would love to hear the full. I would love to go into Bungie and just find out the full story because something happened there for certain. There was because there were parts that we were shown that never made it into the final game, and there was talk of it wasn't quite as grand as what it was. That's spoken up to be.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
But anyway, back on. We're not here to rant about this.
No, we're not.
We're here to talk about Dark Below, which is the first expansion pack, which gives you a wealth of weapons, armor, and gear, all that standard stuff. A couple of new story missions, 3 new multiplayer arenas, and a new strike and raid for people that know what I'm talking about with those things.
Well, the strikes, I do like the strikes. I've not actually got as far as being able to unlock the raids because my level isn't high enough. But
that's level 26, is it?
Yeah, and I'm on 24, something like that.
You're ahead of me. I only got to 22. I get up.
But raids, I don't think you even want to play raids. I believe the first raids, didn't they spend something like 9 hours doing it?
Yeah, but I think that was kind of at the stage where they might not have been high enough levels, so they just did it anyway.
Possibly.
But they're kind of super hard missions where you have to work as the team.
As a team. Of 6.
So there's the new DLC. One thing I don't agree, Dan, what do you think on the pricing? £20.
Quite a bit.
It is, isn't
it? I mean, ultimately it depends on. Couldn't speak there for a second. It depends on how many hours you're getting out of it. I mean, if it's giving you a substantial chunk of extra gameplay, that's fine.
Yeah.
If it's giving you an hour, that's obviously a rip-off.
Well, obviously the raids themselves are huge.
The raids themselves are huge.
That's what I mean.
Not so
you
much.
get one straight, one raid.
Yeah.
But because
3
I
new
haven't played
arenas.
Destiny, I can't say how much
Weapons,
sort of that
armor,
actually gives.
gear, and I mean, to be honest, if the armor and the gear that is in there contains, there's a lot more light available in the gear and the armor, then it probably is worth it because that is how you're leveling up after level 20 is leveling up through light. So it would be good if there is a
Yeah.
bit more available. That's the problem. That's why I put the game to one side, because I was sick of trying to find gear with light. I was doing story after story and strike after strike, and I wasn't getting any more. I wasn't leveling up anymore, and I was just getting a bit sick of it. So I put it away.
Yeah. But there we go. I personally think it shouldn't be any more than £18, but there you go, £20.
It's 19.99, I
That's
believe.
£20. One more DLC. Not really anything to say about this. It's Minecraft DLC. I know Minecraft's a big deal for a lot of people. Christmas skins. You can now make your characters look all Christmassy and happy. So on to there's nothing else to say. There's just I mentioned it because Minecraft is
It is a big deal.
It's probably more people own Minecraft than any other game in the world.
It's not just a skin pack; it's a mashup pack.
Whatever.
That means everything goes Christmassy.
Okay. Minecraft is going festive for the holiday season.
There we go.
There we go. Giana Sisters Twisted Dreams is Director's Cut. Is a game here for PS4, and I think actually it looks pretty cool.
It does look pretty cool.
Art-wise, it looks really good.
It's a strange old game, this one. I'm not sure whether I would want to play it or not. I can't quite decide whether I would.
Yeah, it looks really cool. I like like you said, the art direction is cool, and it talks about morphing between like kind of two different dream worlds, which
I think they were showing in the trailers, because it's
Yeah.
going from like lighter, more brighter, to sort of like a more darker looking setting and so on.
yeah, and that kind of thing helped me, or not necessarily it's the same, but it reminded me a lot of Guacamelee. I know you guys didn't play Guacamelee because, well, I don't know why you didn't. It was an awesome game, but like through that you could go through like the land of the living and the land of the dead in order to determine, like, kind of get through different things and do different powers and stuff like that and see different enemies. But that one looked pretty cool. You would have seen an overlay of the trailer. I think I might buy this one. I think it looks it looks like my kind of game. 33 levels. That's a good number of levels.
Yeah.
I always say minimum 31, so that's fine. You've got easy and hard difficulties, and yeah, it looks good. The last game this week, like I said, not a huge amount. Rock Boshers DX. Now, this one I included because I think as terms of the game, it actually looks quite fun, but the concept is a bit of a weird one.
It is weird. If you look, I mean, even just like reading the description of this, it's set in the 1880s or whatever. It's Queen Victoria, fighting her way across Mars or whatever.
Of course,
as you do.
That's Mars, as in like the planet Mars.
Yeah, I know. But
Do you not remember the Great Victorian colonisation of Mars?
But it's almost like you have to
Fundamental British history, Ash.
you have to read the description twice, and I'm like, what?
I think the only way that would make this funnier would be if they said, "Right, this is our game. I want you to now write a description. I don't want it to be anything to do with the game. Just write the weirdest shit you can come up with." And that's basically what they've done. But in terms of the game, it kind of looks like one of those kind of, not quite Metroidvania kind of style, but like one of those kind of like, I don't know what the best way to describe it is. They've seen it in the overlay, but it's like a space kind of side-scrolling action platform kind of game, but not really platform. I'm trying to think of something that I've played that is similar to it.
You've not played anything similar to this.
No, well, not with the same story.
So this is something I quite like. I mean, it's coming out on the PS4 and the Vita, and it's something that
it's cross-buy as well.
So it's cross-buy, yeah. So I probably will maybe look to have it just so it's something on my Vita that I've got for.
Yeah, it looks, and I mean these two games that I include,
Yeah.
the Giana Sisters and Rock Boshers, I included them because they're actually getting good ratings on the PlayStation Network. If there's a game on there that's not getting good ratings, I normally won't include it unless it looks particularly fun or has a catchy name, like the tennis to the face that we included.
Yeah.
But those two games, for the right kind of person, I think they both seem to be they're scoring well, so they're obviously fundamentally good games. And for the right type of person, Rock Boshers DX will be a fun game for you. It looks hard from what you have to do in the trailer, but some people like hard games, so. And basically it on the game front. So
we knew it was going to be quite this time.
People aren't going to be releasing games like 1 week before Christmas. We spoke about last week being basically the cut-off for the crew, and this is how it will be for the next few weeks now, because people won't start releasing games till the end of January. But if
one day a studio is going to buck the trend and be like in the week before.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you say that. The week of Christmas, the 23rd, you get the best Christmas present of all. Resogun for the Vita and PS3. Well, we'll end now.
Here he goes.
We'll end now. What's the what would be your, if you had to buy one of these games or pick one of these, what would be your pick for the week?
God, it's really difficult.
Well, you can say none. You don't have to pick one.
No, but you said if I had to.
Okay.
Yeah.
If I had to, I mean, what do I like the look of the most? Actually, probably Destiny. I know it's expensive, but it probably would be Destiny.
It adds more value to a game you have.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fair enough. I would go with Giana Sisters. I really like the artwork on that game, and it just looks like it could be fun.
I'd say Lara Croft, simply because
Look at that. All different.
It's kind of got those similar sort of aspects to some of the other games that I've played before, like little sort of like Uncharted-esqueness in there.
There is
as well.
Well, there's the puzzle aspect of it, isn't
the
it?
puzzle stuff like that, and it's co-op as well, so
it's something a bit different, isn't it?
No, that did look good as well. So there we go.
Three different opinions.
Well, we all know which one's right, don't we?
Yeah.
So there we go. That's about it for this week on the Game of the Week show. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, subscribe to the channel so you can keep up to date with all of our weekly news and ramblings. If you want to speak to us about any of the news topics this week or the games, which one do you think is the best? Lara, Giana, Destiny? Let us know in the comments. And provided you make the right decision, I will respond to you. But for now, Dan and Ash,
Cheers, guys.
Thank you for your time. And everyone out there, we will see you next Monday.